one message, just one line, and my entire world fell apart.
My name is Alden, and up until a few weeks ago, I believed I was standing on the edge of a bright, certain future. I was preparing to marry the woman I thought was the love of my life, Marley Whitlow. We'd met 4 years earlier through friends, bonding over terrible coffee and midnight walks under street lamps that flickered like shy stars. Life felt simple then, easy, warm. We were planning a fall wedding, choosing venues, color palettes, and even arguing about whether our dog, Pip, should wear a tiny tuxedo. It felt like stability. It felt like home. But sometimes homes burn long before the smoke ever reaches you. The spark that would eventually consume everything began at a birthday party for my best friend, Juno Keller. Juno and I had been close since high school. She's sharp-witted, sarcastic in a charming way, and one of the few people who truly understands me. Marley used to joke that Juno and I had too much chemistry. I always brushed it off. The night of the party was a blur of neon lights and cheap punch that tasted like sweetened regret. Marley floated around with a strange energy, playful, or perhaps something less kind disguised as laughter. She nudged me toward silly games. She whispered ideas into my ear. She laughed harder than she usually did. Then came the dare, truth or dare, a crowded living room. Music vibrating through the walls. When it was my turn, Marley leaned forward with a smile that never reached her eyes. "I dare you," she said, dragging out the words, "to kiss Juno." The room burst into drunken laughter. I didn't. I looked at Marley, waiting for her to wave it off as a joke. But she only raised her eyebrows, a challenge, sharp and pointed, as if she were desperate to prove something about me. Or about herself. Juno tried to stop it. She said it was a stupid idea, but Marley didn't let her. She just laughed and said, "Come on, it's just a game." And so, cornered by embarrassment and the pressure of a dozen watching eyes, I leaned in. So did Juno. It was 5 seconds. Maybe 6. Long enough for the laughter to fall silent. Long enough for regret to form. When we pulled apart, Juno looked stunned. Marley looked victorious, and I just felt sick. The night darkened after that, not in lighting, but in atmosphere. Somewhere inside me, a foundation cracked. The first ember had caught fire. The next morning, guilt pushed me to Juno's door. I needed to apologize, to make her understand that the kiss wasn't born from desire or betrayal-only pressure. She let me in with tired eyes and hair pulled into a messy knot, the kind she wore when she hadn't slept. She accepted my apology with the quiet grace she always had. But then she told me something that made my stomach drop. "Alden, Marley planned it." I blinked. "Planned what?" Her voice was steady, but strained. "The dare. She told me earlier she wanted to prove a point. A point. A test, a trap I never saw." I left Juno's place with a hollow feeling in my chest and went home to confront Marley. She was sitting at the kitchen counter, scrolling on her phone like nothing in the world was wrong. I told her everything, how the dare hurt me, how it hurt Juno, how none of it felt innocent. She shrugged. She actually shrugged. "Oh, Alden, stop being so dramatic. It was just a dare, but it wasn't, not to her. And certainly not to me." Over the next few days, Marley carried on as if nothing had fractured between us. She smiled the same, moved the same, joked the same, except now, every laugh felt like a dismissal. Her playfulness now felt like cruelty. I tried to fix it. I really did. I suggested therapy, communication exercises, even taking a break from parties and alcohol for a while so we could reconnect. Marley just laughed. "You're taking this way too seriously." But to me, it was no longer a game. It was about a trust that was now cracked and slowly splintering apart. The breaking point, the moment the fire finally reached the room I'd been standing in, came a few evenings later. I came home and overheard Marley on a video call with her sister. She was saying Alden's being sensitive again. If he's freaking out over a stupid dare, how's he going to handle a real marriage? Her sister laughed. Marley did too. And she didn't defend me, not once. In that moment, she wasn't my partner. She was just another person making fun of my feelings. That was it. That was the moment the fire engulfed everything. I walked into our bedroom and packed a suitcase, not out of anger. It was pure self-preservation. Marley found me moments later, her smile finally fading into confusion. "You're kidding." "I'm not," I said. And for the first time, she realized this wasn't a fight she could laugh off. Homes don't collapse in a single moment. They crumble, beam by unnoticed beam. I left to stay with my brother, promising Marley we could talk when she was ready to genuinely listen. She didn't say goodbye. I didn't expect her to. 3 days later, she showed up at my brother's doorstep. Her eyes were red, her voice trembling. "Alden, can we talk?" We stepped outside into the cool evening air. She apologized, haltingly, desperately, saying she never meant to hurt me. She thought I'd laugh. She thought it was harmless. She thought I'd never leave. But her apology came too late, not because she didn't care, but because she never cared soon enough. She reached into her pocket and held up the engagement ring I'd left behind on the counter. "I'll change," she pleaded. "I'll go to therapy. I'll stop making jokes. Just don't leave me." I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I once imagined growing old with suddenly seemed small, fragile. But somewhere along the way, my heart had been scraped raw too many times to repair. "Marley," I said softly, "I'm not angry anymore. But we're not who we thought we were. You don't respect me the way a partner should, and I don't trust you the way a fiancé should." Her voice cracked. "So that's it? You're just done?" I exhaled a breath I felt like I'd been holding for weeks. "I'm done trying to convince you that my feelings are real." Tears fell down her cheeks. She whispered, "I didn't mean to lose you." "I know," I said. "But you did." She reached out to touch my arm. I took a small step back. It was the distance I should have created months ago. She walked away slowly, her shoulders shaking, and for the first time, I didn't chase her. As she disappeared around the corner, a quiet truth settled over me. Some love stories don't end in explosions. Sometimes they just end in a whisper. When Marley was gone, I stood there in my brother's driveway and waited. I waited for the ache, the anger, the regret, the longing, but none of it came. Instead, for the first time in weeks, I felt something gentle settle over me. Peace, not triumph, not vindication. Just the soft, quiet understanding that love isn't destroyed in a single moment. It dissolves slowly, unnoticed, until the final thread breaks. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the flames and let what's left cool on its own. And that was the quiet truth waiting for me in the ashes. The story didn't end because I stopped loving her. It ended because I finally started loving myself.